At first, the search for the perfect Judah Ben-Hur seemed like an endless quest. The studio considered dozens of leading men from Hollywood and Europe, auditioning actors who could capture both strength and vulnerability. Charlton Heston was already known for epic roles, and had impressed director William Wyler with his commanding presence. Heston's stoic mixture of intensity and dignity in a screen test did more than satisfy Wyler. It clinched his place as the lead. For Messala, Wyler was very specific. He wanted an actor who could show ambition, warmth, and growing ruthlessness. Stephen Boyd, though not a Hollywood superstar at the time, won the role after a chemistry reading with Heston that suggested a believable, deep relationship between the two men, which was vital to the story's emotional power. The casting of Esther, Ben-Hur's loyal love, took a distinctly international turn. Israeli actress Haya was chosen after a long search. Her gentle presence and expressive face matched Wyler's vision for a woman who would stand by Judah's side without overshadowing him. When it came to casting Sheik Ilderim, they selected Hugh Griffith after a memorable audition in which Griffith, despite being Welsh, adopted the colorful, bigger-than-life persona the role needed. Casting for the rest of the ensemble, including Hawkins as Quintus Arrius, followed the same thorough process. Producers wanted authenticity and depth. So many roles went to seasoned British stage actors. Throughout casting, Wyler relied on extended dialogues, interpersonal tests, and genuine rapport among actors. This was rare for large-scale movies of the time, but it paid off. The cast developed a believable sense of community and rivalry. Every actor's ability to emote and physically endure the demanding scenes was essential, and their chemistry shaped what many still consider the heart of Ben-Hur. Meanwhile, William Wyler's direction of Ben-Hur in 1959 shaped the film into a sweeping epic, combining grandeur with intimate emotion. Drawn by his background in both drama and action, Wyler merged strict attention to detail with a taste for spectacle. He pushed for authenticity by overseeing elaborate set constructions and insisting that costumes and props felt realistic. Moreover, Wyler's style favored close-ups and carefully composed shots to deepen the audience's connection to the characters. Influenced by his earlier works in drama and his respect for European filmmaking approaches, he brought a sensitive, human touch to the grand narrative, making Judah Ben-Hur's struggles personal. Collaborating closely with Charlton Heston and the supporting cast, he guided them to deliver restrained yet powerful performances, encouraging Heston to portray subtle emotion amid Ben-Hur's trials. Wyler's partnership with his cinematographer and set designers resulted in groundbreaking visuals, especially in the chariot race sequence, which he staged using multiple cameras and innovative editing. This cooperation extended to a huge crew, as Wyler orchestrated thousands of extras and coordinated logistical challenges to capture the drama and excitement the story demanded. His patient, perfectionist approach led to numerous retakes, but this dedication resulted in a film that balanced dramatic storytelling with technical brilliance, showing both the cruelty and the hope within Ben-Hur's world. Through careful direction, creative partnerships, and a mix of old Hollywood dramatic flair and modern cinematic style, Wyler transformed Ben-Hur into a landmark achievement that blended emotional storytelling and visual spectacle. From the first time you watch Ben-Hur, you can tell it's not just an ordinary movie. This film pulled together some of the biggest stars and grandest sets in Hollywood history. As you get ready to learn more, you should know there are some funny, shocking, and sad facts about this movie coming up, so stay tuned. Ben-Hur is famous for its long chariot race scene and the huge amount of extras and animals used. Charlton Heston, playing Judah Ben-Hur, brought a strong presence to the film, but the cast includes many other classic Hollywood actors. Which actor in the cast was your favorite? While the movie earned a record number of Oscars, behind the scenes, things were not always glamorous. For instance, during filming, there were several injuries on set, and the chariot race scenes were so dangerous that myth and rumors still surround them. Some people believe that a stuntman died during the race, although that story has never been proven true. Did you know extras working as Roman soldiers were told to grow beards to cover up their sunburns from filming in the hot sun, or that the movie almost wasn't made because earlier versions didn't succeed? Many props, like the huge Roman ships, were recycled from previous films to save money. Have you ever heard any lesser-known facts or stories about Ben-Hur that really stood out to you? Maybe you have a favorite scene or a cherished memory of watching this epic movie with someone special. If you do, we would love to hear your stories and memories in the comments below. After choosing Rome as the main filming location, the creators of Ben-Hur faced the huge job of building elaborate sets to bring ancient Jerusalem to life. The construction of these grand sets took over a year and used tons of wood, plaster, and stone, with skilled craftsmen working to create temples, marketplaces, and palaces that looked as real as possible. Shooting on location at Cinecittà Studios provided enough space for the massive sets and thousands of extras. The famous chariot race was filmed in a specially built stadium that spanned 18 acres, making it the largest film set ever created at that time. This part of the production was especially complex, requiring 6 weeks to film the race and nearly 80 days for rehearsals and practice runs. The logistics behind moving actors, horses, chariots, and cameras were tremendous, with strict schedules and plenty of safety measures to avoid accidents. Meanwhile, innovative techniques pushed the boundaries of filmmaking. Director William Wyler insisted on using new camera mounts to capture the fast-moving action, while cinematographer Robert Surtees experimented with different lenses and film stocks to maximize colors and clarity in the widescreen process known as colors. MGM Camera 65 special dye transfer Technicolor prints gave the film its bright, vivid look, and the team used groundbreaking editing to mix footage that was filmed at high speed for thrilling action. Even the costumes and props were carefully researched and custom-made, adding a sense of authenticity. The massive scale of the production created problems, such as managing the welfare of animals, coordinating hundreds of background actors, and ensuring continuity across so many scenes. Despite these obstacles, the filmmakers managed to create a spectacle that became legendary, using both old-fashioned craft and emerging technology to bring Ben-Hur's story to the big screen with a sense of grandeur few films could match at that time. Initially, the story of Ben-Hur unfolds with a grandeur that invites comparison to some of the most imaginative narratives to come after it. The legendary scene of stars forming a special mark above Bethlehem inspires awe, establishing a connection to themes that were later echoed in science fiction, particularly in George Lucas' work, where visual wonder and universal struggle become central. The depiction of Rome as a powerful empire resonates not just through its rich historical portrayal, but also as a symbol of overwhelming authority, drawing clear parallels to the empires seen in other stories. At its heart, Ben-Hur explores themes of betrayal, moral conflict, and the tension between personal loyalty and greater destiny, as seen through the broken relationship between Judah Ben-Hur and Messala. This dynamic becomes a powerful focal point, thanks in large part to Stephen Boyd's compelling performance, which some consider his finest on screen. The movie's vision reaches further with the presence of spiritual force, uniting different faiths and individuals in opposition to tyranny. Some viewers notice that where the original novel depicted a dramatic personal conversion to Christianity, the film version adapts the story to be more universally appealing, focusing less on conversion and more on the transformative power of compassion and resilience. Meanwhile, Charlton Heston's portrayal of Judah Ben-Hur is widely viewed as the defining role of his career, displaying strength, emotional depth, and dignity throughout his character's journey. He is surrounded by a strong supporting cast, whose performances enrich the story's sense of epic scale and emotional involvement. The relationship with figures such as the Arab prince and family members adds texture to Ben-Hur's odyssey, illustrating themes of alliance and sacrifice. For those interested in production, the technical achievements remain memorable. The chariot race sequence stands out as a masterpiece of staging and action, its influence evident decades later in other cinematic spectacles. Heston's dedication, including intensive preparation to master chariot driving, shows in the thrilling realism of the scene, and the beauty of the horses, whose names echo in future works, adds to the film's magic. Beyond the chariot race, the galley ship battles present a different form of excitement, achieving tension and spectacle without descending into graphic violence. Some appreciate the film for its restraint, particularly in the scenes of the crucifixion and the interactions with Jesus, which are handled with subtlety and a focus on meaning over sensation. There are differences in opinion regarding the film's adaptation of its source. While some praise the changes made by the screenwriters for bringing depth and a broader appeal, others note the shift away from the novel's clear conversion narrative, raising questions about the story's true message and how it fits modern themes of unity across religious and cultural lines. Taken together, these choices reflect both the intentions of the filmmakers and the cultural landscape of the late 1950s, offering an interpretation that seeks to resonate across generations. The legacy of Ben-Hur is further underscored by its place in cinematic history, following in the footsteps of the earlier silent version, which was itself a landmark production featuring technical innovation and its own set of dramatic challenges. Both versions, with their grand settings and ambitious scope, were monumental undertakings for the studios involved, reflecting a commitment to spectacle and storytelling on an epic scale. As a result, Ben-Hur is remembered as much for its artistry and influence as for its narrative, inspiring new generations to look back and wonder at an era when cinema sought to capture both the intimate struggles and the universal dreams of humanity. Throughout the film Ben-Hur, the score and soundtrack work closely with the story to make the viewer feel every moment, from pain and anger to hope and freedom. Miklos Rozsa, the composer, was well known for his ability to bring ancient worlds to life through music, and in Ben-Hur, he poured months of research and creativity into building a soundscape that would match the epic scale. Using a full orchestra, Rozsa found inspiration in ancient Roman and Middle Eastern music, mixing unfamiliar modes and instruments with the strength of a Hollywood orchestra. The famous Parade of the Charioteers brings an atmosphere of excitement and tremendous energy to the legendary chariot scene, with bold brass and rushing rhythms making hearts race. In the quieter, more emotional scenes, such as those with Judah Ben-Hur and his family, gentle strings and mournful melodies help viewers understand the character's pain without needing words. Rozsa worked closely with director William Wyler, rewriting pieces until the music fit each scene perfectly. Musicians in the recording sessions noted that Rozsa expected discipline and passion, pushing them to deliver performances that would stay with audiences long after the credits rolled. Critics and fans still praise the Ben-Hur score for its power to draw listeners into each moment, making the film's story feel even bigger and more moving. Rozsa's work won an Oscar and became one of the most respected film soundtracks, influencing generations of composers who followed, and setting a high standard for music's role in bringing stories to life on screen. During one of the most memorable scenes, a wager is placed involving 1,000 talents, a term that measures weight in silver or gold. If converted to modern value, that amount of silver would be worth about $82 million in 2022, while the same weight in gold would reach up to $8 billion. This highlights not only the scale of the bet, but also the immense riches at play during the story's dramatic events. When the film was first released, it appeared in Technicolor using 35mm prints. Yet, no 70mm prints used Technicolor since that process was unavailable at that larger format. All later 70mm versions employed a different process called Metrocolor. By 1974, the film saw significant changes for a re-release. Its length dropped from 212 to 170 minutes. The new version removed both the musical overture and the entr'acte, and there was no intermission. Most notably, the order of some scenes changed, an unusual step for a film that had already secured 11 Academy Awards, which was a record at the time. This cutting and rearrangement were almost unheard of for such a successful production. Moving back to the origins of the story, Lew Wallace, who wrote the original novel in 1880, had modest expectations for its earning potential. He guessed that yearly royalties might reach $100, and resisted selling rights for stage adaptations for many years, before eventually agreeing. These historical and production details reveal the scale of ambition, both in the story's dramatic stakes and in the film's journey through various releases and adaptations. First, the chariot race scene stands out as the heart of Ben-Hur, unforgettable for its energy and spectacle. Director William Wyler insisted on realism, using more than 200 horses, and building a massive arena that enhanced the film's authenticity. Cinematographer Robert Surtees utilized sweeping wide shots that placed viewers in the thick of the action, while rapid cuts between the grid of hooves and tense faces built up suspense. Charlton Heston, who played Judah Ben-Hur, trained extensively with the horses, and his raw focus on screen made the race feel dangerous and immediate. The musical score, composed by Miklos Rozsa, raced alongside the editing, pounding like a heartbeat, and the absence of dialogue allowed small details, the crack of a whip, the glance of a rival, to speak volumes. Actors recalled the exhaustion and excitement of filming, with Stephen Boyd playing Messala, often mentioning the intense rivalry became real during the physical strain of the sequences. Wyler's deliberate pacing forced the audience to feel every risk and triumph, making the race sequence a turning point and a cinematic triumph. Later, the meeting between Ben-Hur and his mother and sister in the leper colony shifts the mood. Wyler focused on the character's sorrow and confusion with lingering close-ups that let spectators sense heartbreak and hope. Heston's expression, restrained but broken, captured a defeated spirit seeking something to hold on to, and Martha Scott, as Miriam, gave a gentle strength to her suffering. These performances reminded audiences of personal loss amid grand events, a balance Wyler believed in. The crucifixion scene, somber and quiet, used filtered light and minimal music, letting silence pull in viewers' attention. The camera lingered on faces, emphasizing humanity's shared pain, while the actors' subdued grief echoed the film's message of forgiveness. Wyler said this moment mattered most to him, not for religion but for telling a story of compassion. Critics have often highlighted how these scenes, through strong direction, emotional acting, and thoughtful use of music and cinematography, linger in memory. Each scene felt both huge and personal, reminding viewers of human endurance and reconciliation. During production, the film's crew managed thousands of costume changes and a wardrobe housed in a massive warehouse. Over 11,000 costumes were required, including around 1,000 armor suits for battle scenes, crowd shots, and main actors. Sourcing materials became a global task when silk for one of the central characters' costumes arrived from Thailand. Decisions about the cast were just as deliberate. Ava Gardner and Pier Angeli, both well known at the time, were considered for the key female role of Esther, though the part eventually went to another actress. The movie's scale was matched by the personal investment of its team. Sam Zimbalist, the 54-year-old producer, was on set daily and closely monitored the film's demanding progress. Tragically, Zimbalist died of a heart attack shortly after leaving the set following complaints of chest pain. Just 40 minutes after his exit, filming carried on despite the loss, with a dedication to finishing work on a production already marked by its scale, attention to detail, and long days on set. Interestingly, after its release in 1959, Ben-Hur quickly became more than just a movie. It was a cultural phenomenon that shaped how people saw both cinema and history. Mass audiences were wowed by the sheer spectacle of its famous chariot race, the epic sets, and groundbreaking special effects, and it became a symbol of Hollywood's golden age. The film's grand scale and powerful themes about revenge, faith, and redemption struck a chord with viewers at the height of Cold War anxieties, when people looked for moral clarity and stories of personal transformation. As the movie was adapted from a novel deeply connected to Christian tales, it became especially meaningful for religious viewers, and was often shown annually around Easter on television, making it a kind of holiday tradition that united families and communities. Ben-Hur also widened the doors for big-budget epics, setting a standard for future blockbusters and influencing pop culture references in countless parodies, cartoons, and ads. Its portrayal of Roman oppression and the triumph of the individual resonated with civil rights movements and made people think about justice, forgiveness, and the possibility for reconciliation in times of conflict. Even though its cast was mostly white and its view of history very Western, it sparked conversations about the way Hollywood interprets the past and religion, leading to debates about who gets to tell these stories and why they matter. Its mix of personal drama and sweeping events became a framework for later films, and its unforgettable visuals and music lingered in public memory, always reminding audiences of the power of film to inspire collective emotion and reflection about social values and personal growth. Meanwhile, when Ben-Hur debuted in 1959, critics were deeply impressed by the sheer scale of its storytelling and the breathtaking visuals, especially the famous chariot race sequence that had audiences holding their breath in theaters. Many major newspapers praised Charlton Heston's portrayal of Judah Ben-Hur, noting that he brought both strength and subtle emotion to the role. The film's director, William Wyler, was lauded for orchestrating such a massive production with eye for detail and dramatic tension. Audiences responded with enthusiasm, resulting in long lines at cinemas and record-breaking box office returns. Beyond just commercial and critical success, Ben-Hur swept the 32nd Academy Awards with 11 wins, a record matched only by Titanic and The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King decades later. Its haul included Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actor for Charlton Heston, along with awards for supporting actor Hugh Griffith, cinematography, art direction, editing, visual effects, costume design, sound, and music. These achievements not only cemented the film's legacy, but also elevated the careers of everyone involved, from actors to technicians, making Ben-Hur a symbol of Hollywood excellence and epic filmmaking. The accolades reflected both the industry's respect for the film's technical prowess and its emotional impact on audiences, who continued to revisit the spectacle for generations. And it set a high bar for future historical dramas keen to match its artistic ambition and popular appeal. During the filming of Ben-Hur in 1959, the production transformed the outskirts of Rome into ancient Jerusalem using massive sets, drawing interest from locals who would gather just to catch a glimpse of the action. While shooting the famous chariot race scene, real danger loomed over the set. Charlton Heston, who played Judah Ben-Hur, had only basic riding experience when production started. The crew hired veteran stunt coordinator Jaffe, who trained Heston and supervised every aspect of the sequence, which involved more than 70 horses and dozens of stuntmen. In one tense moment that Heston often recalled, his chariot almost flipped over after a collision, but he managed to regain control, narrowly avoiding injury, while the cameras continued to roll. Although rumors say a stuntman died during filming, in reality, despite several harrowing accidents and close calls, everyone survived, though there were many injuries, including the breaking of a stuntman's jaw. Another behind-the-scenes tale centers around the enormous sets. The Roman arena was so immense that actors sometimes used bicycles to get from one end to the other between takes. Extras who played Roman soldiers and citizens grumbled about their cumbersome costumes, with many removing their sandals and breastplates as soon as director William Wyler called, "Cut!" Meanwhile, Wyler was known for his perfectionism. He insisted on shooting certain scenes dozens of times until the lighting and acting were just right. One sequence showing Ben-Hur's reunion with his mother and sister was redone nearly 30 times, causing emotional exhaustion among the actors. The wardrobe department handled countless costume changes, and the laundry staff had trouble keeping the thousands of sheets, tunics, and armor pieces clean. The attention to authenticity extended to every area. The prop team sourced olive branches and pottery from local markets, while horses were imported from as far as Yugoslavia for their strength and stamina. Through heat, dust, language barriers, and months of grueling work, a sense of camaraderie developed among the cast and crew, many of whom kept souvenirs from the set as reminders of their unforgettable experience making history in the world of film. For decades, Ben-Hur has stood as a giant in film history, not only because of its epic story, but also due to its technical achievements and the lasting effect it had on filmmaking. Released in 1959, its grand scale, including thousands of actors and groundbreaking set designs, became a benchmark for movie spectacles. The chariot race scene, in particular, pushed the boundaries of what was possible in action filmmaking, inspiring countless directors to dream bigger and shoot more ambitious scenes. The movie's use of color, sound, and sweeping musical score brought audiences into the story like never before, setting new standards for emotional engagement through technology. Its record 11 Academy Awards set a challenge for later movies, and for years filmmakers wanted to capture the same level of passion and accomplishment. Ben-Hur opened the way for other historical epics like Spartacus and Cleopatra, and even decades later, movies like Gladiator drew clear inspiration from its battle scenes and themes of personal struggle against corruption and power. Besides its influence on epic film production, Ben-Hur shaped audience expectations of drama and spectacle, making it clear that film could offer larger-than-life experiences. Its legacy still echoes in the modern age, especially when blockbusters are made with huge budgets and massive casts, as everyone from directors to actors look back at Ben-Hur as a key moment in Hollywood's history. Looking back, so many people remember seeing Ben-Hur for the first time and feeling amazed by its grand, sweeping scenes and the energy of that unforgettable chariot race. Some say it even changed the way they thought about movies. The scale, the music, and the powerful storytelling made cinema feel bigger than life. For others, it wasn't just the action that stuck with them, but also the deeper story about struggle, faith, and hope in hard times. If you remember the grand sets, the feeling in the theater, or if you still talk about it with friends and family, I'd love to hear your story. Share your memories in the comments. Maybe Ben-Hur inspired your love for epic films, or gave you a new appreciation for the way movies are made. How did the performances or visuals make you feel? Did this film lead you to watch other classics or influence what you look for in a movie? Join the conversation below. And if you enjoy exploring classic films and stories from cinema's golden years, hit like, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more journeys through film